The moon is back in Pisces and I'm on 72-hour water fast number 2. It's pretty miserable when it's cold and your body temperature is cold, but when I looked outside and I saw sunshine and blue skies, I thought, oh, this is fucking brilliant. So I got outside and I've come down to my favourite nude sunbathing spot. The trail is over there. If anyone saw me, it wouldn't be a problem for me at all. It's going to be a much bigger deal for them than it is for me, but unfortunately, I think that's the last of the blue sky. But I feel like I've got so much more energy. You know, the last time I did it, I definitely didn't feel like I had enough energy to ride the bike. Reading this book at the moment, Taoist Secrets of Love, Cultivating Male Sexual Energy. For anyone who's into this type of stuff, this is a really great book. It taught me a lot. Written by a Chinese guy, Mantak Chia, in 1984. It came into my life just at exactly the right moment. It was in 2015 and I was like hardcore into the NoFap. It was during my 6-month streak and I was just thinking, okay, I've got the hang of this now, what's next? This book is what was next. So I'm rereading it and I feel really good. I feel really committed to this. I don't have any expectations, even though I know what happened in the past. It didn't really lead where I thought it was going to lead, but I'm just going to read a little bit from here that's just struck me as being particularly relevant to what I'm experiencing at the moment. If the human race is not quickly infused with a new life energy to render it more harmonious than it has been for most of the last 2,000 years, we are all earthly masters and mortals, threatened with an untenably harsh existence, if not extinction. Machines have inadvertently become instruments of our own destruction. The TV-programmed mind is not a free mind. Too few devote even 1 second to entering deeply the great current of life hidden within ourselves. There are positive signs. In Taoist thinking, any excess eventually leads to its opposite. Despite the current mediocrity of most popular culture, there are tremendous forces driving the race into expanded consciousness. It is clear that the reason for the chaotic state of planetary affairs is the revolutionary advance in human consciousness. We have created a crisis in order to force a solution demanding that we restore our balance with one another and nature. Among the most important implications of this soaring up of consciousness is that the ordinary man will be admitted to secrets of life and mind that were formerly reserved for the chosen few. It's talking about esoterics. Like I say, this book could not have come along at a better time for me, 2015, when I was waking up. But these, you know, you just have to entertain the possibility that you've been lied to, that we have all been lied to, and the materials you need to form a deeper understanding will just appear. They will just come out of the ether. You'll just be watching a YouTube video and someone will say, oh yeah, you should check out this book, and you're like, okay, I'll read this. Fucking hell, that's talking to me. So, you know, Mantak Chia goes on. Not only do troubles press consciousness to evolve, but changing consciousness bursts the constraints of existing order. That's another thing to make note of. Not only do troubles press consciousness to evolve, there's no one I've met who seems genuinely to be going through a personal revolution, who's like doing the hard work to seek these things, who hasn't been through some kind of hardship. And not just they went through some hardship, but they manned up or they womaned up, and they fucking went at it. The reason bad stuff happens in your life is because you're supposed to learn from it and it's supposed to teach you something. If you don't think of it like that, if you just think you're a victim, again, it's this disempowerment thing, right? This is all about personal empowerment. You take back responsibility for your own experience, your own journey. It's like, am I a failure because I've put myself out here in the woods? Am I a failure because I've got these scars on my legs where my skin's bad, and it's like people look at me and think, oh, you know, he's having a bad time, he's let it get on top of him. That's not the case. I'm here because this is how I fight this thing. Have I been backed into a corner, or have I backed it into a corner? That's how I choose to see it. I've come out here because I've stripped away so much nonsense from my life, so much and so much comfort, and I've got it on the ropes, guys. I'm really starting to get it. So the revelation of the Taoist secrets of sex is a contribution to human culture that may take time to manifest its real influence. Where a few great minds once acted, the full race of human genius must now struggle to save our world from the dangers of its own excess. So I don't really know what the hell he's talking about, but I know that my personal mastery of my lower urges, which are particularly to do with sex, I feel like I'm right back there. I'm right back where I was at the beginning of 2015. And the way I got back there was by going back to this book. It was a tremendous period of expansion and potential for me. And it was hugely down to the no-fat. Once I nail it, that is when the light is just going to shine from me. I changed my life, or I at least began to change my life. I became extremely powerful at manifesting what I wanted to see. So we're going to give it another go. Back in my secret lair now. It's early evening. The sun sort of came and went. It was warm enough for me to have a snooze in the sun, which was nice, and I read my book for a little bit. I think on some level I'm looking for a distraction, whether it's the book or the computer or the camera, to just spending time alone, spending time in my head. But hey, that's why I'm out here, that's why I'm out in the woods. I agreed to go on this journey, I agreed to this process, but there's something else that wanted me to be out here alone. So as soon as I'm finished with this, I'll go back to that. But yeah, I just wanted to make a note of the fact that there's literally a dozen other things I could be doing right now. Or why am I doing 72 hours? Why didn't I just do 48 or something? I mean, I am committed to this fasting when the moon is in Pisces, and that's why it's 72. But Sunday, I'm going away for the first time in ages. I'm going away with my sister and her boyfriend. We're going to cycle an average of 40 miles a day for 6 days down through France to a place called Fontevraud to meet up with the family, and going to be out there for a week. We're leaving Sunday night. I was in two minds whether or not to do this fast, and the reason I did it, because I recognised the importance of this type of thing, to basically to break through the kind of barriers that I'm facing. And I'm not talking about physical barriers, I'm talking about metaphysical barriers. The physical stuff will take, this is the thing, right? The physical stuff will take care of itself when I accept responsibility for and do the work on the metaphysical barriers, okay? So it's whatever's in my head, and I can't really quantify it right now, but because I'm still learning about it. This is what I want to do. I want to do bicycle touring. This is something that Ben really has put together. Ben and Sarah, they've worked on this together, and I'm really just along for the ride. And I suppose I've got some experience and stuff like that. So, you know, I'll be useful to have along. It's a really big deal to just at these fairly inopportune moments to just say, right, that's it. I'm going to cut myself off. No phone, no internet, no contact with the outside world. I'm just going to go into the woods on my own for 3 days and just have very low energy levels and just sit alone with my thoughts. It's pretty hectic stuff at times, the stuff that comes up. I'm on the psychiatrist's couch, but I am both the patient and the psychiatrist here. And I've got the materials. I've got the materials to understand this stuff. Whenever you're facing a problem, you just need to look around you and you'll find very close at hand exactly what you need to sort it out, to figure it out, to understand it, and then you can just let it go. And I know I'm getting this. This is what I want to do. This is the most important thing right now. But, you know, going to France is the second most important thing. It was scheduled this way. It was scheduled so that I will do this 3-day fast, and I'll come out of that feeling amazing. I know I will. You know, this is just such a great idea. All right, it's Friday now. I've been fasting for about 44 hours, which means I've got another 28 to do. It's about 10 a.m. and the sun is out and it's glorious. I'm going to jump on the bike again and head down to the nude sunbathing spot. It's very much 50-50 out here, which is disappointing, but hey, that's just the way it goes. When your energy levels are this low, everything becomes a massive test. So just getting my stuff together and getting up out of the hole and getting down here. But just like physically, when you fast, your body goes into sort of house cleaning mode. There is a healing aspect of fasting, but there is also a cleansing aspect of it that is well documented, and everything follows this principle of as within, so without, as above, so below. As it's taking place in the physical, so it's taking place in the mental. So when you fast, you've got things coming up in your mind that need to be addressed, that need to be released, and this is happening quite a lot so far this morning. And it's, you know, you think of things and you just keep going over situations, things that bother you, and there's nothing you can do about it. Even if I was there with that person who my ego says is creating this situation, really, these people, these places, these situations, you can't stand for some reason. It's like the ego needs that. It's how it defines itself. But there's no amount of mental complaining that can solve these problems, okay? There's no point complaining about whoever it is or whatever it is that bugs you. You just need to let it go. That's all you need to do, guys, is just go, okay, I'm pissed about something, or some aspect of me, some lower aspect of me is pissed about something. And just go, yeah, all right, good point. You know, so-and-so's an asshole, whatever. It's because they're reflecting part of you which you can't stand. And as soon as you come to terms with that, you can let go of it, and that difficult relationship, that difficult individual will no longer be a part of your life. And I've done this many, many times. It's when you get it, when you release the attachment to it, that's when it evaporates, and you just move on to the next one. So, yeah, a lot of the time it is better the devil you know, and I think a lot of people get this, and they'll spend their entire lifetime just complaining about the same thing day in, day out. But you need it, guys. You need it. Your ego needs it. But when you come across this concept of the ego, and when you start to spot it in action, and you start to say, okay, that's not me. The ego is not me. I am not the ego. It's still very unpleasant when I get caught in this train of thought. And the way I just broke the last one was I just picked up the video camera and started talking. I was like, okay, I'm not going down that route. That's the first thing, is just not going along with it. You feel like you've got a genuine complaint, a genuine grievance with so-and-so. You don't objectively have that. You can just acknowledge it and let it go. Just like the body is cleaning now, it's deep cleaning my cells. Stuff that doesn't usually get addressed. And it's just like that in the mind as well. It's a clearing out of the subconscious. They didn't teach this stuff in schools. You have to learn it yourself. And I'm a very practical guy. I'm out here learning it for real. These are lessons I'm learning now that are going to carry me through the rest of my life, and I'm going to be able to help other people with this knowledge as well, because it's becoming so clear to me now. Just another little quick observation to make about fasting. I'm sure a lot of people watch this and they think, what the hell is this guy doing? You know, why don't you just like clean up your diet, do some exercise? Trust me, I've done those things as well. Our culture has no real place for fasting. The only time I've ever heard it being recommended is by like alternative healing methods, or for people recovering from chemotherapy. This is how I first heard of it. But the thing is, we all fast every night when we sleep, don't we? Most of us fast for 6, 7 or even 8 hours a night, and it's more than just a water fast, it's a dry fast. And if it wasn't for that nightly dry fast, trust me, your body would deteriorate a lot quicker, you would age a lot quicker. This is the time when it repairs and it rebuilds. It's part of how the human body works, and people are doing this for healing and for longevity, and it's an extremely powerful thing that we can take, and we can use it like a tool. The lifestyles, call them lifestyles, the death styles that so many of us lead these days, if it wasn't for the nightly dry fast, people would be dropping a lot sooner. But you know, nature's got that built in, nature's got that engineered into us as a kind of safeguard against the crazy things that we do to our bodies, that we put in our bodies nowadays. So just remember that. Second 72-hour water fast complete. Time to break the fast. Red grapes. First food that's passed my lips in 72 hours.